Be me. 10th grade. Have only one friend. Let's call him Dave. Dave has an odd obsession with printing out motivational posters and sending them to me whenever he thinks I'm depressed. Pretty gay, but I bear it. One day, he sends me a picture of a pigeon with the words "Fly like the wind below." Odd, but almost a little heartwarming. Put it on my wall for extra motivation. Come back the next day to find it gone. For some reason, I felt oddly disappointed. Print out another picture of a pigeon. Put it on the wall. Once again, I come back to find it mysteriously missing. This will not do. Print out more pictures of pigeons, place them all next to each other. When I come back, I find them gone again, this time with a letter taped in its place. To whom it may concern. Posting any kind of picture on the wall without explicit permission is against the rules. Sincerely, Principal Beck. MFW, this means war. At home that night, print out about 30 pictures of various species of pigeons. Also scout out a roll of duct tape and a sheaf of post-its. Come to school the next day and slip them all in my locker. Pretend to have an otherwise normal day. That is, until the school ends. Stay behind in the library to do some studying. Due to tutors being here today, get the go-ahead. Slip out of the library when no one's looking. Head straight for Mr. Beck's office. Duct tape a picture of a pigeon onto his desk. Take out the post-its, bright pink, and otherwise look like the post-its of a but alas, it will have to do. Hastily scroll a note with my left hand, so as to make my handwriting look different. Gotta cover my tracks. Suddenly hear a noise. The noise of carts rolling down the hallways outside. It's the janitor. Oh point peg. Look around desperately for some place to hide. Suddenly, my eyes fall upon the open door of a small closet. Hear the janitor stepping towards the door. It. Jump into the closet and close the door as quietly as possible. Hear the janitor step inside. Peer through the crack in the doorway to get a look at what he's doing. Almost immediately, he spots the poster taped to the desk and the note. Point peg. Step forward, making the door creak ever so little. Suddenly, the janitor snaps his head around and looks at me through the crack dead in the eye. We stay like that for a few seconds. I can feel my sphincter tightening from the anxiety. Suddenly, the janitor goes back to work like nothing happened. After a few hours of paranoid waiting, I hear the janitor wheel out of the room and the door closes behind him. Slowly creak open the door to find my pigeon picture and note still stuck to the desk like nothing happened. The son of a bitch knows. Finish scrolling down the note and run my ass out of the room. Hastily slip the rest of the pictures into some random locker and run away, snickering to myself. I still remember what I scrawled down on the note to this very day. I'm the terror that flaps in the night. The next day, an announcement over the speakers came on about a
mysterious school vandal has posted an inappropriate picture in the office.
They warn that the perpetrator can and will get detention, or worse if they pursue further. And thus, that day, my reign of terror began. That night, hatch the next phase of my plan. Somehow, convince my mom to get me a pigeon mask from the store by making the excuse it was for drama club. Spend a while looking at the various bird attire, but eventually find just the right one. Find my dad's camera, set it to a timer, and take a picture of myself, dressed in all black. Spend the next few hours editing and working through a document until I get exactly the right design. Yes, this will do. Print out 50 copies. Printer is out of ink. Oh well point peg. Load the printed results into my backpack and head to school the next day. Pretend it's an otherwise normal, average school day, that is, until class ends. When the cat's away, the mice will play. Proceed to the library, once again to do some studying. Take all my creations with me. Post them in every hallway corner I can find. On the lockers, on the cafeteria tables, in the bathroom stalls. Nowhere is safe. I fight the urge to laugh maniacally as I do so. Once again, head home, make the excuse I was studying, decide to fake illness the next day to make sure my ass doesn't get beat. Come into school, once more. Dave calls me over in the hallway, says went down yesterday with the teachers, and now they're holding an assembly on vandalization. Dear God, this will be fun. In single file lines we are herded into the gym like sheep to their pens. We sit quietly for fear of the teacher's punishment and wait. We watch and wait. Suddenly, the curtains of the stage open. Behind it is a crudely set up cardboard box, and behind it arises a sock puppet. They made their assembly into a half-assed puppet show. I laugh before getting shot a look by the teacher. Quickly, I silence myself before I could get into any more trouble, and the puppet show that is meant to be taken seriously proceeds. Most of it is just cheesy vandalization no bullshit, but one line at the end stands out.
And, because of this, we can't ever let a student in after school again.
Holy shit on the lining of Jesus' butthole point peg. Turns out the dire news was true. No student was to be let in after school until further notice. But this was a challenge gladly accepted. Nothing would be enough to stop the pigeon vandal. That night, I hatch yet another plan. Yet, before I could put it into action the next day, I come in to face a surprise. I know who you are. Sincerely, the Squawker. During the day, I ponder how the fuck someone could have figured out about my identity. Suddenly the memory comes back. The janitor, staring at me dead in the eyes from the closet. MFW, I have a fuck nemesis. During my last period, asked to go to the bathroom 5 minutes before the bell rings. Teacher obliges. Wait until every single student has filed out. Soon, the clatter fades to silence. Slowly creep out of my hiding place and into the abandoned school. Well, mostly abandoned when counting the janitors and the Squawker. First order of business, get my ass to the lost and found. This Squawker is most likely on the prowl for me. I can't leave any tracks. Pick up a random assortment of clothing I find there. Change into a pair of jeans, some shitty D&D t-shirt that smelled of the end times, and a black hoodie. Done the hoodie, and make the quietest run I can to the office. Time to enact my wrath. Go to the printer and shut it off completely. Next, go to the computer and boot up Microsoft Word. Take a thumb drive out of my pocket. Stored upon it would be a Word document of the very creation I made advertising the lost ostrich for my previous escapade. Copy it onto the desktop, and eject the drive. Open the document and press print. Select 90 copies. Prepare to enact the usual routine of going home and pretending nothing happened until I hear the door begin to creak. Panic point peg. Can't go in the closet. I went there last time. The only place is.
What the?
I hear a voice say. Run. F***ing run. Without another thought, I barge past the figure in the doorway and run out of the school. Somehow, I managed to sprint the entire way home. How I gathered the energy and fitness to perform such a feat still eludes me. I didn't sleep that night. The next day, come and stiff and tired, expecting for myself to get called to the office almost immediately, ready to pay for my sins with dignity. I walk in, only to have the principal barge past me, an entire sheaf of papers in his hand, and swearing under his breath. One of the papers fall to my feet. It's the ostrich poster. I have to stop myself from doubling over in laughter, saving myself to go to a bathroom before my sides launch themselves into orbit. I may have gotten caught, but it was worth it. Throughout the day, I wait for it, the dreaded announcement. I can feel the knot of worry growing in my stomach as each minute ticks by. And then, finally, it comes.
Will Anon please report to the office, please? Thank you.
Was this really the end? After all these triumphs, I decided not to take my end in the hand of grief, but instead take it in stride, making confident bounds throughout the halls. Finally the office. My hand hesitated over the door, though merely for a second.
Ah, Anon.
The principal said.
Thank you for coming.
Am I in trouble? I asked, despite knowing the obvious answer my ears were waiting to receive.
No, not at all.
Wait, what? The realization dawns upon me that the Squawker might not have squawked after all.
We've been notified that your friend, Dave, has been staying after school a lot recently in order to study. With permission, of course, but still, we suspect that he may be the vandal. Do you happen to know anything about this?
Wait, Dave, the complete slacker I know all too well, staying after school? No, I say, trying to process what I just heard. On my walk home that day, I take a moment to think. Something was suspicious. Either way, it wouldn't be enough to stop the pigeon man. Go home, and, as per the schedule, hatch my greatest plan yet. The next day, sneak the ingredients in my recipe for destruction in the locker. 30 copies of pigeon pictures, handmade bird stencils, 1 bottle of lotion, a pigeon mask, and a ton of duct tape. Sneak all the items into my locker undetected, boasting a grin the Cheshire Cat would be jealous of. Head to class, pretend everything's normal, the usual routine. Once again, ask to go to the bathroom 5 minutes before the end of the day. Somehow, that works a second time. Within, I don the sacred clothes, jeans, hoodie, D&D shirt that smells of the end times, head to my locker, load the needed supplies into my backpack, so as to look inconspicuous, head to the library, enact my righteous wrath, duct tape all the pigeon pictures to the walls, the shelves, and even the books, especially the books. All but my 30th pigeon picture. That one had a higher calling in life. Head to the front desk of the library, duct tape the picture to the desk, place down the stencil on top, and within the grooves, squirt in a generous amount of lotion. Take the stencil off to reveal my creation. Lube, looking conspicuously like jizz, in the shape of a pigeon. But that was not all. There was the bust. The bust of the founder of our school, sitting tall and proud in the middle of the library. Upon it, I placed the crown jewel of this escapade. The pigeon mask itself. I looked upon the havoc I had wreaked. A job well done. I was just about to head out and call it a day when a voice hit my ears.
Anon?
I whirled around with the force of 1,000 speeding bullets to find Dave. I spied a note in his hand. The words were hard to make out, but one of them I could see clearly, even in the dim lights of the library windows. Squawker. I looked at Dave in shock, and he looked at me in return. Dave, I said, my voice wavering. Dave only stood there, his mouth agape. Finally, I could speak. Why?
I never knew. After the first incident, I thought I could use the grade. You know me, I'm terrible with work. I started by posting post-its saying I knew who they were on all the suspects' lockers, but I never thought.
Dave trailed off, and we ended in a moment of awkward silence, before he finally asked me in turn.
Anon, why you?
I hesitated, searching for an answer. Would it surprise you if I said I don't really know?
No, it wouldn't.
Hey, Dave, did you find him yet?
I turned to Dave in shock and anger, and my fist begins to tighten, preparing for a hit and run. I honestly had no idea who my friend was anymore.
Wait, Anon,
Dave whispered, before I could make a break for it.
the back windows, they're always unlocked. Get out and go home. I'll take the blame.
Are you sure? I asked, as the man's voice became ever closer.
Just go.
And with that, I ran through the open window, ran through the streets, and ran all the way back home. I never saw Dave again until next week. He was quiet, which was unlike him. Wouldn't talk to me, or anyone. Yet, neither of us forgot what happened that day. Be me. End of the year. Turns out Dave got suspended for a long ass time, and his grade was practically slaughtered for the year. And yet, he was happy. After the escapade of the library, the bust was put behind glass and the rules became so strict it would be impossible for such an event to ever happen again. The entire school began to speak of the mysterious pigeon vandal. Though, eventually the talk died down, after all activity from the mysterious vandal vanished, and the school returned to business as usual. Until the last day, that is. Somehow, my mom had bought me yet another pigeon mask, after I convinced her I dropped the previous one into a mud puddle. And today, it would be worn for the first and last time ever. In my latest escapade. My last escapade. Here I stood in the bathroom, the sacred attire worn, hoodie, D&D shirt that smelled of the end times, and jeans. And now, a pigeon mask. Dave had the teachers distracted, talking with them about schoolwork and the likes. Now was my chance. Out of the bathroom I sprang, arms swung behind me Naruto style. Through the halls I ran. Nowhere was safe. As I ran and screeched, no person was left, not a witness to my undue fury. No matter what happened after today, whether I got caught or was left to roam free, everyone would know my name. I am the Pigeon Man.